Hey everybody, so today we're going to be making a chipotle bowl. I get tired of going out and buying chipotle all the time, so I figured I'd make it at home. So first we're going to start making the salsa. I diced up some Roma tomatoes already, and now I'm dicing up a purple onion. Yes, I know it's called red onion, but it's purple, so I'm chopping up a purple onion. I'm going to add it into my tomatoes, mix it up really good, and then I'm going to add in some fresh cilantro. Now I'm using one whole bunch of cilantro. I cut off half of it to use for the salsa. I'm going to come back and cut up more of it, and we're going to use it for other parts of the meal, so save that cilantro. Once you have your cilantro chopped up really good, you're going to add it into your tomato mix and mix it up really well, and then we're going to add just a little bit of salt in there as well. Once you add your salt, mix it up a bit more, and then you can place it in the fridge just to keep it cool until the food's ready. Okay, so next we're gonna go back to that cilantro that I put to the side, and we're gonna chop up a bit more of it, not all of it. You wanna save some for the guac at the end. So I'm chopping up a bit more, and we're gonna use that for our quinoa in a little bit. So I just figured I'd get it out the way now and place it off to the side. Now I'm going to start chopping up my onions and peppers for the fajita veggies. You want to slice the onions so you have like a sort of semi-circle thing going on, and then you're going to do the same thing for your bell peppers. Just a side note, y'all, I am not day drinking. That is tea I have in my glass there from the Goddess collection. I love me some tea. As you can see, I'm killing it, so I'm gonna go ahead and refill it, and then we're gonna keep moving on. So next, I'm gonna chop up the mushrooms. We're gonna be using the mushrooms for kind of like the carnatas, or like the meat that they have there. So I'm gonna slice my mushrooms into fours, and then we'll place them off to the side as well. Just want to get all the chopping out the way that we can now, so that we have everything ready to cook and go when we need it. Okay, so we're just about ready to start cooking the fajita veggies. I'm going to use avocado oil, just a little bit, to swish around in the pan and, get all the veggies coated in that oil. And then in the meantime, while they're beginning to saute, I'm gonna drink me some more tea and just chill. Alright, so the veggies started sauteing. I don't want to fry them too hard to where I lose color in the onions. So I'm gonna soften them up just a little bit and then take them out the pan, and we're gonna set them to the side. Now we're gonna use that same oil that we have in the pan to start sauteing those mushrooms. So go ahead and place your mushrooms into the pan at this point. And I'm not going to add any oil yet. I'm going to use the oil that's in the pan. Just swish around those mushrooms, get them to start cooking a little bit, and then we're going to add in some garlic. You want to add about a spoon, and not even a half, just a little bit of garlic. Swish that around in the pan, and then we're going to start adding in our seasonings. If you've watched any of my cooking videos before, you know I don't measure any of my seasonings. I just do what the spirit tells me to do. So as you can see, I just added however much seasoning I felt like I needed. I'm going to switch those around. Now at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of oil just so that seasoning doesn't clump up. Mix it around and let it cook a bit more, and then we're going to place those veggies off to the side. Alright, next we have our beans. I cooked black beans. Now I soaked these overnight just so they wouldn't take so long to cook, and then I cooked them in the morning. I made it really simple. I added some bay leaves and then these seasonings here. Cooked them up a bit, and we'll place them to the side for later. Alright, next we're going to be making our quinoa. We're going to start with these seasonings and a little bit of oil. So first you want to place your clove in there and then your seasonings. You want to mix that up really well, and then once it starts cooking a bit, you're going to add your quinoa in. You don't want the seasoning to get like black or burnt or anything, so just a little sizzle and then add that quinoa in. Once you add the quinoa in, you're gonna wait until it starts bubbling up like this, and then you can add your water in. You don't have to use water, you can use a broth, but I just used water. Okay, we're gonna let that quinoa sit and cook a little bit on a medium to high heat and go back to those fajita veggies. So these are the seasonings that I'm using. We're just gonna add those in and mix up those veggies, and then once we're done mixing them, place them to the side for later. Next, we're gonna go back to our mushrooms, and those are already seasoned. We're just gonna put those in a bowl, set them to the side for later. All right, let's check on our quinoa. So it looks nice and bubbly, it has a great consistency. So I would say the quinoa is just about done. I'm gonna turn my heat down to medium just to see if it needs to cook a little bit more. We're gonna add in a little bit more seasoning at this time. And it pretty much looks like the quinoa is good to go. If I keep cooking it at this pace, it'll turn out to get stuck to the pan and I'll need to add more water in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the burner off after I mix in these seasonings, cover it back up and let it just sit on that warm burner. This is the consistency that you want for your quinoa. It's a little like clumpy, kind of still moist a bit, but once you turn that heat off and let it sit on the burner with the lid on, it'll take that moisture out of the quinoa and you'll have a nice consistency for your quinoa. Next, we're gonna add in that cilantro that we chopped up and set to the side. Go ahead and just mix in that cilantro to the quinoa before you cover it up and let it sit on that warm burner. Okay, last thing we're gonna do is make the guac. I'm using 2.5 avocados. So go ahead and slice those avocados, take out your pits, and then you're gonna wanna take the avocado, put it in a bowl. You might wanna do it like 1/2 at a time, just depending on the ripeness of the avocado. So once you take it and put it in the bowl, you're just gonna mash it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be like super mashed. You can have like little chunks in there. It depends on however you like it. But go ahead and mash the avocado up in the bowl, and then we'll be adding in our cilantro next. Okay, so we're gonna chop up the rest of that cilantro and add it into our guac mix. Now, the rest of the cilantro that we have here has little stems in there. Make sure you chop those up really well. Nothing goes to waste over here. So yes, I'm gonna use the stems of the cilantro because it has seasoning in it, so why not? So I chopped them up really well. I'm gonna add them in and then mix them into that guac. Next, we're gonna add a little lime juice. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fresh key limes. That would be ideal, but add a little bit of lime juice, mix that up in there. And then lastly, we're gonna add a little bit of salt, mix that up in there. And you can place it in the fridge or you can just get ready to serve as is. And that's it. This is what our spread is looking like. I got some greens there I'm gonna use as my base. You can see everything that we've prepared. We got it nice and laid out and we're ready to make our mock chipotle bowl. So I'll go ahead and make my bowl here for y'all so you can see how I do it. Like I said, I'm gonna use my greens as a base, add that cilantro quinoa in with some beans, then I'm gonna get me some fajita veggies, those seasoned mushrooms, my salsa and guac. The thing I really like about this meal is that it's cheap to make and it's really filling. Like I love Chipotle and they normally don't give enough portions. So when you cook at home, you know, you're able to control the portions and it's cleaner. Like eating this, it made me feel much lighter than eating Chipotle. I guess because of the rice and everything like that. But this is a really good substitute if you're looking for something cheap and easy to make at home. So here's my bowl, guys. That was the final result. I'm gonna mix it up here so you can see what it looks like mixed. and I hope you guys really enjoyed this recipe. I know I sure do. My husband says he can eat it every day, and best believe we've been eating this for the past 3 days. I keep making it over and over again because it's just so good. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it, and I definitely enjoyed eating the food. It was so good. You know what? I'm gonna go get me some mock chipotle right now. Peace, y'all.